When you think of managing files on your Mac, you probably think of the Finder. And if you're coming from the PC, you might be even more familiar with the File Explorer. Well, on the iPhone, we have something similar, the Files app. With the Files app, we can browse our files, create folders, and even scan documents directly to a folder. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Files app, including how to navigate the interface, move files, create folders, and even change the view of a folder. Now, before we get started, if you like what you see here, stick around to the end. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and how you can help support my efforts in creating these videos. All right, let's take a look at the Files app on the iPhone. Let's go over to my iPhone. Now, as I mentioned, I think of the Files app as my Finder on the Mac, or if you have a PC, it's Explorer. So what we have to do to open up this Files app is we just have to tap on it to open it up. It is just an app on the iPhone. But when you tap on this, what it'll do is it'll take you to where you can browse all the files and folders on your iPhone. So right now I'm looking at all of my different locations, favorites, and tags. This is like the main screen. I want to go into a folder. Let's say I want to look in my iPhone. I want to see all the files and folders that are on the iPhone, and only on the iPhone. That's basically what this means. Well, basically I just tap on it, and now I can see I have DuckDuckGo as well as GoPro Quick. I want to browse iCloud Drive. How do I do that? Well, I just go back over here to Browse, and now I go to iCloud Drive. I tap on that, and I'm looking at iCloud Drive. I want to go into iCloud Downloads. I tap on it, and I'm looking at iCloud Downloads. To go back, I can tap on Back here, or what you can do is you can just swipe from the left edge here. You just swipe over to the right from the left edge, and when you do that, it brings you back. And then if you want to go back to where all of those locations are, you can also just tap on Browse. And now I'm back to where all those locations are. Another thing you can do when you're in a folder, since we're talking about traversing folders, I'm going to go to iCloud Drive here. And we're just going to go into a couple folders here. Another thing you can do to go back is just tap on the folder name here. This is how you can always see what folder you're in. And when I tap on this, what you're going to see is where that folder is. It's in iCloud Downloads, which is in iCloud Drive. So you can traverse the folder there. Another thing you can do is rename, copy, and move this folder just by tapping on the appropriate title there. And then again, if you want to go back to all of your different locations, you tap on Browse here. I'm looking at all of my different locations. Now let's take a closer look at this screen. First thing I can do is I can search. So I can search my iPhone, search for a file or folder. Pretty simple. Another thing I can do is I can select what I want to browse. Do I want to browse my iPhone? And this will only show me files and folders on my iPhone. Do I want to browse files and folders from iCloud Drive? I also have Keep It, or I can view all of my recently deleted files, about 30 days of files and folders. If you have Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, or Dropbox, this is where you're going to see those different types of cloud drives. All you have to do is just download the app. So I would download Microsoft OneDrive. Once I download it and sign in using that app, it's going to show up in this area here. So I can use the Files app to browse Microsoft OneDrive or even Google Drive. Now I have Keep It here. This is a folder or a cloud service that I really don't use. Well, what we're able to do is remove that from the Files app. I can still use it using the Keep It app. So let's just go with Google Drive. Let's say I had Google Drive on here, and I only want to access Google Drive from that Google app. I don't want to see it on this screen here. Well, we can hide that. All we have to do is just go to the three dots up here, and when I do, what I'm able to do is edit the screen, and one of the options we have is to hide. So all I have to do is just tap on the green slider there, and when I tap on Done, you're going to see that Keep It is no longer there. I still have it installed on my iPhone, and I can still access it from my iPhone. I just have to use the Keep It app. So if this was Google, I'd still have all of my files from Google. I'd still be able to access them, but I'd have to use Google Drive. I couldn't use the Files app. If you want to use the Files app in addition to the app, you just tap on it, go to Edit, and then you just tap on the slider here, and then you can show those files and folders within the Files app. So if you turn this off here, it doesn't delete them, it just removes it from the Files app, access from the Files app. If you want to reorder it, you can do that as well. So I use iCloud Drive primarily, so I could drag this up here and put it above on my iPhone. Or maybe I don't want to store any files on my iPhone. I could go and hide that. Another thing we can do is we can add favorites here. If there is a favorite folder that you access, this is where you can go and add it. So I'm going to tap on Done. The way that we add a folder is we long press on it. So let's say I'm using numbers a lot. I want to add that as a favorite, so I have easy access to it. Well, all you have to do is just long press on it. You're going to see more about this contextual menu. There's a lot of options with this contextual menu later in the video. But one of the options here is Favorite. I tap on Favorite. And now, when we go back over here to browse our different locations, you're going to see numbers. So now I just tap on that and I can easily access all those files and folders. If you want to arrange it, again, you go to Edit up at the top, and then you can go and arrange it. And then if you want to remove it, you can tap on the little minus there. It'll remove it as a favorite. It does not remove it from your folder, from your iCloud Drive. It only removes it as a favorite. It's not going to delete any files. So I want to remove this as a favorite. I just remove it, tap on Done. And when we go to iCloud Drive, we can still see we have numbers here. It's just no longer a favorite here. And then we also have tags. More on tags in a little bit, but basically what we're able to do is edit these tags. I go up to the three dots, we go to Edit, and then from here I can go and arrange them as well as remove them. Again, more on tags in a little bit. But that's how we can edit this browse screen. Now let's take a look at files and folders a little more closely. What we're going to do is we're going to go into iCloud Drive. I tap on it, and I'm looking at iCloud Drive. Again, first thing is I can see what I'm looking at just by going to the top here. I want to open up a folder. I tap on it, it opens up the folder. To go back, I go back. Again, we've seen how we do that. But what else can we do? Is I want to change the view. This is in a list view, so I just swipe up, and I can see all the files and folders within that folder. I want to change the view. To change the view, what we do is we just go up to the three dots here, the ellipsis, and when I do, I'm going to have the option to change it between an icon view or a list view. So let's go with icons, and now we can see that folder in icon view. This is really great if you have a folder with a number of images, so they can easily see the images. To change it back, of course, you just go back up over here, and you go to List, and when I tap on List, it brings us back to our list view. Now we can also change the sort order. To change the sort order, what we do is, again, we go back up to the top here, our three dots, and you're going to see name, kind, date, size, and tags. That is our sort. How do we want to sort it? Right now it is sorted by date. That's why it has a check mark there. And I can even change, you're going to see that there's a caret to the right over here. When I tap on that caret, what I'm able to do is change to a descending order or an ascending order. It's going to change the sort order. So I just go to the top. Let's go and organize it by kind. Now it's organized by kind, sorted by kind. I'm going to go back to date, and now it's sorted by date. That's generally how I will do it. I like to have my latest files or folders that I've created up towards the top here. Now another thing we can do is we can group these. If you're familiar with the Mac, what we're able to do is group our different files by what type they are. We can do the same thing on the Files app. Like I said, this is much like the Finder on a Mac. So now I just tap on the three dots again, and what you're going to see down here are View Options. When I tap on that, I can set how I want it sorted. In addition to that, how I want them grouped. So let's go with Group by Kind. So then it's going to put all of my images together, all of my numbers documents together. It's going to group them by kind. So I tap on kind here, and then when I tap on done, what you're going to see is all of my documents are grouped together. I just have one document in there. I have all of my images grouped together. And when I swipe up, here are all of my PDF documents grouped together. So not only can you just sort them, but you can also group them by different kinds or even dates. You could group them by date if you wanted to. And again, you just go to the top here. We're going to turn this off. I tap on it. We go over here to View Options. And then I'm going to say Group By. And I'm just going to say None. And now it's no longer going to group them. Another thing we can do is we can set the icon and list size. So if you want to have more files, right now it is set for default, which means that it's a little bit larger. If you want to include more items in that list, when you tap on default, what you're able to do is make it compact. Then everything's going to be just a little bit smaller, but you're going to see more in that list. And then if you want to show your file name extensions, a good example of this, a PDF. When you look at a PDF, you usually see a .pdf, that's the extension. A Word document usually is DOC. An Excel document is XLS, the .xls, that's the extension. If you like to see those extensions, you can turn this on to show those extensions. I'm going to get out of the view options here. So that's how we can change our view options. Now let's take a look at how we can create a folder. We basically have two options. What I'm able to do is create an empty folder within this list. I just have to be in a folder. I'm in my iCloud downloads. I want to create a new folder. I just tap on the three dots again. And when I do, we have new folder. I tap on that. And we have my new folder. I just go and name it. And then we're going to have my new folder up here. Pretty simple. Another thing what we can do is we can create a new folder with our selected items. So as an example, let's say I wanted to include these three items here in a folder. We go up to our three dots here, and I need to select those three items. So I tap on Select here. And once I do that, I'm able to select the items. So I tap on them. We can see that they're selected there. And now what I do is I go down to the three dots here. When I go down to the three dots, being that those are selected, what I'm able to do is create a new folder with those three items. So what it's going to do is it's going to create a new folder and place those three items that I have selected into that folder. So let's go ahead and do that. I tap on it, and we can see it created it here. And when I open it up, there are my three items. So we can create just a basic folder, or we can select items and then move those items into a new folder. What about moving items? How can we just move an item? Maybe I don't want to have this untitled one in this folder. How do I move it? Well, what we do there is we long press on it. We have a contextual menu, just like we do on the Mac or the PC. And one of the options here is Move. I just tap on that, and when I do, I can go and select the folder that I want to move it to. So let's just go and move it to iCloud Downloads. And now I tap on Move. And you can see it's no longer in there. But when we do go back, what you're going to see is Untitled here. And we can do this with multiple items. Again, we just go up to Select. We select the items, documents we want to move, and you tap on the folder here, and you can go and move those items, all those files and folders you have selected. We can also delete them here, and then we can duplicate them. And if we want to share them, we can do that as well. And we can do this when we have files and folders selected, or I can also do this just by long pressing on a file and folder. So let's go with this one here. I long press on it, and then from here, you're going to see that I can copy it, I can move it, I can share it. I can also duplicate it, and then if I want to delete it, I can delete it. So there's a lot of options that we have when we use that contextual menu. Another thing we can do is we can keep it downloaded. What does that mean? Well, when you use a cloud service such as iCloud or Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive, where is that file stored? Is it on your phone or is it in the cloud? Maybe it's in both. What will happen sometimes is the iPhone will actually remove that file from the iPhone to save space. It's still in the cloud, but it's not on your iPhone. So what you have to do is you have to download it from Google Drive or download it from Microsoft OneDrive. If you want to keep it on your iPhone so it's always on your iPhone, you don't have to download it. Again, you just long press on it. So I'm going to long press on this. And when I do, you're going to see I have the option to remove the download or keep the download. If I tap on remove the download, it is not going to delete the file. It just removes the download. So the actual file is not on your iPhone. So if you're running low on space, this is a great way to free up space. If you want to keep that file on your iPhone so it doesn't have to download, if it's a large file and you have to wait for it to download, then you want to tap on Keep Downloaded. It's going to keep it downloaded on your iPhone. Another option we have, Quick Look. Quick Look will give us a quick look of that document. We don't actually have to open up the application. So if I wanted to see what this document was, I tap on Quick Look, and I can see what that file is. I can actually go and zoom in and read it. And when I'm done, I tap on Done, and it brings me back to the Files app. So Quick Look allows you to just go and take a quick look at a document without actually opening up the file. We can also rename them. We just long press on it again. I'm going to tell you that contextual menu is going to be your friend when you work with files and folders on the iPhone. We also have rename, and I can do this with a file or a folder. So let's take a closer look at tags. Let's say I wanted to tag this. All I do is long press on it again to get to that contextual menu. We go over here to tags, and when I tag it, I can select what I want to tag it as. I can even create a new tag. So we're just going to keep it simple here. We're just going to go with purple. I tap on purple, tap on done, and I can add more than one tag to it. And now that is tagged as purple. You're going to see it has a purple dot there. So what does that mean? How can I use this? Well, when we go back, I'm going to tap on Browse to go back. You're going to see that I have all my tags here, and when I tap on purple, what do you think we're going to see? We're going to see that scanned document there. And if I want to remove the tag, I just long press on it again, and then I can go and remove that tag. Tap on Tags. I just deselect purple, and when I do, we can see it is no longer there. Now, we have another option here, and that is shared. Now, this is with iCloud Drive. So if you're using iCloud, which I think most people probably do, you may not know that you can create a shared folder and share it with other people. How do you do that? Well, basically, all you have to do is just long press on the folder. So let's say I wanted to share this iCloud's downloads. I long press on it, and then what you're going to see here is share. When I tap on share, what I'm able to do is invite other people. Once I invite other people to this folder, what they're going to see in their Files app is that same folder. And then what they're going to be able to do is add files to it and remove files from it. It's a shared folder. So basically, you just long press on it and then go to shared. Key to making this one work. Make sure you select collaborate, because that's what you're doing, is you're basically collaborating. You can also send a copy, and that will just send a copy to someone. Well, when you share a folder, you want to collaborate. So make sure that this says collaborate. Now, in order to see all of your shared folders and manage them, what we do is we go over here to shared. I tap on it, and now I can see all of my files and folders that I'm sharing. So how do we manage this? How can I add more people to it? Well, basically, let's take a look at Appleseed here. I'm sharing that folder. I long press on it, and being that it's a shared folder, I have the option to manage this. I tap on that, and now what I'm able to do is add more people to it. I can remove people tap on their name and I can remove access to it. I can even set if I want them to be able to add more people. Do I want them to make changes or view only? So we can set this up on an individual basis. I go back. I can also set different sharing options when I tap on this. This is for the folder. What I'm able to do is set it to where only people I invite can access it, or I can set it to anyone with a link. When I tap on anyone with a link, what it'll do is it'll create a link, and I can share that with anyone. Anyone with that link is going to be able to get into that folder. So it is far less secure. But it does give you the ability to share a folder with anyone. And again, you can also set the permissions. View only, or can they make changes? So I changed this one to anyone with a link. Where do I get that link? I go back, and there's the link. Click on that, send that off to somebody. They'll be able to view that folder. And then if you want to stop sharing, you can do that as well. So it's pretty simple to share a folder. And shared folders work basically the same way as all the other folders. I go up here to the top, to the three dots, and I can go and change the view. I can change the sort order. It's just another folder at that point. Now, in some cases, what you may see when you go to a shared folder, let's go to Alaska here. When I long press on it and go and manage it, you're going to see that I can't add anyone to this. That's because I did not initially share this. I'm a guest, so I can't control that. The other person who shared this with me is the one that set this up. And what they did is they said, I don't want you to be able to add someone. So depending on your privileges, if you created the folder or not, you might have different options there. And then over here we have recents. When I tap on that, I can see all of my recent files. So that is basically how we can browse our files and folders on the iPhone. And again, I like to think of this as the Finder on the Mac, or I equate it to something like the Finder on the Mac or Explorer on a PC. Basically, what it allows us to do is just browse all of our different files and folders, and not only browse them, but we're also able to organize them. We can tag them. We can create new folders. We can even share them. And being that it has a camera, we're also able to directly scan a document into a folder. So that's how we work with our files and folders on the iPhone. Now, if you found this video helpful, what you may want to do is like the video. You can share it with your friends and family. You can subscribe to my channel. In addition to that, you may want to check out danstutorials.com. Not only do I have more videos there, but I also have an AI assistant modeled after an Apple Genius, and I host classes and webinars on a regular basis. So how can you help support my efforts in creating these videos? Well, it is a membership-based site. When you become a member of my site, what I'll do for you is I'll remove all of the ads on the videos. You have access to that AI assistant modeled after an Apple Genius. You have access to my classes and webinars that I hold on a regular basis. Also, you are helping support a small business. It is just me in a corner office of my house. I'm not part of some large organization. So when you become a member, you are directly supporting my efforts in creating these videos. Check out danstutorials.com for more information, and thanks for watching.